Hello, this is Todd Luck, and it's time to raise some Kane. Solomon Kane, that is. The 4-issue Solomon Kane miniseries from Titan Comics has just wrapped up. It's available at your local comic shops. It's available online through Amazon/Kindle, and it will be available in trade paperback at some point. So I've already taken a look at the first issue in another video, and so we're going to be reviewing the whole miniseries here. So if you want to know my thoughts on that first issue, check out that video. I'm going to try not to be redundant to it here. Solomon Kane is a Puritan adventurer who tackles supernatural evil, who was created by Robert E. Howard, the creator of Conan and Cole. And so this, like all the other Robert E. Howard titles from Titan Comics, is a mature reader's comic. And so you may see a few things in here that will make a Puritan blush, but I assure you the nudity and the violence here is absolutely part of the story, and nothing here is done excessively or gratuitously. And quickly taking a look at the covers for 2 through 4. This is issue 2, and it's a little bit stylized for my liking, but I think it's kind of cool because it does remind me of how Solomon Kane looked over at Dark Horse when they had the Robert E. Howard properties, so that's kind of cool. Oh, this issue 3 cover is so good. Look at this thing. This is by Alex Horley, who's done some fantastic covers for Titan Comics, and I gotta say, he does a fantastic Solomon Kane. This is such an iconic image. It perfectly captures the character, and he just looks fantastic riding into action on this horse, and it looks like something straight out of the comic because this scene actually did appear in it. And here is our final issue main cover, and it's a very solid cover, very striking. Solomon Kane looking very creepy here. And so if you don't like any of these covers, you do have plenty of other options. It's a modern comic. There's plenty of variant covers, but I think the main covers have all been solid. But what you are here for, my friends, is Between the Covers. This is a miniseries that takes Solomon Kane on a globe-trotting historic adventure through Europe and Africa. It is both written and drawn by Patch Searcher, and I don't want to give too much away, but it is a really solid story. There's a lot of characters, but he makes each of them distinctive, both in his writing and in his drawing. I mean, each of his faces are just so expressive. Everything in here feels exquisitely researched. Every costume, every background feels accurate to the time, but still accessible to readers. There's no point at which I was lost with historical terms in here. And there's a lot of great characterization, but there's also a lot of fantastic action. This is Solomon Kane at his most badass. And Patch Searcher had been doing Solomon Kane's backup stories in Titan Comics Savage Sword, which was in black and white. This is our first time seeing his Solomon Kane work in color, and I gotta say, it is absolutely gorgeous. And I gotta tell you, the story and the artwork on this miniseries is top-notch from when you open up the first issue to when you close the last one. I haven't seen anything this consistently good in a long, long time. And yes, this miniseries does tie into Conan, but you do not have to know anything about Conan to understand what's going on here and enjoy this. In fact, I haven't read the current Conan plot lines from Titan, and I love this Solomon Kane miniseries. And I think it's really cool that there is a flashback here where Patch Searcher actually does get to draw Conan and Thothamon. And yes, Solomon Kane does fight supernatural evil in here, but you'll notice I'm being very selective about what I'm showing you in the interior because I don't want to spoil what it is, but let's just say it does involve the Serpent Ring set. This is, after all, called Solomon Kane, the Serpent Ring. And so this does get my highest recommendation. I wish every comic could be this good. And Patch Searcher is going to continue to do short stories in Savage Sword, and he does say he wants to do some more Solomon Kane. Now, before I saw his work for Titan Comics on Solomon Kane, I really wasn't that familiar with Patch Searcher's name. But it turns out I actually have some comics that I absolutely love that he's drawn. One of them is this incredible Max miniseries from Marvel called Terror Inc., and it has this awesome painted cover. But the interior artwork by Searcher is even better. I remember being blown away by this artwork when I first read it, and it's written by the amazing David Lapham, who does Stray Bullets, and so this is a highly recommended miniseries. Another hidden gem he drew was Mystery Men from Marvel, and this is set before World War II, and they've created all of these pulp heroes just for this miniseries. It's self-contained, it's the only time they appear. Great story by David Liss with some amazing artwork. However, one thing that surprised me when I was researching this video was that I couldn't find much that Zurcher had written. You know, he has a ton of credits as an artist. The only thing I could find that he'd written before his current Titan Comics stuff was a self-published comic from 1992 called Samurai 7. And so it sounds like writing the comics he's drawing is kind of a new thing to him. And that's amazing to me, and it kind of reminded me of something I heard recently. And involved my favorite writer, Jim Shooter, who is probably better known as the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics in their heyday in the 80s. And just as a quick side note, that's oftentimes remembered for how great, you know, Fantastic Four and X-Men and all that were, but it was also a great time for the Howard comics, right? You had the classic stories late in Roy Thomas's first run. You had some of the best color Cole comics ever produced. A King Conan series that included early artwork from Mark Silvestri. And of course, the original Solomon Kane miniseries. And so Jim Shooter had a huge impact on comics, and so everyone was posting tributes to him, and I stumbled on a vlog by Rob Liefeld. And so whatever you think of Rob Liefeld as an artist or a creator, he is a great vlogger and a real comics fan. And he said something that I thought was kind of interesting. He kept talking about how Jim Shooter unlocked talent at Marvel. And one of the ways he did that was he had these hot artists who wanted to write, so he would put them on a title and just see what they could do. And that gave us Frank Miller Daredevil, John Byrne Fantastic Four, Walt Simonson Thor. It took these hot artists and really unlocked their creative talent and turned them into comic book gods. And that, my friends, is what I think is happening here with the Solomon Kane miniseries. I think Titan Comics has unlocked Patch Searcher, and I hope he stays that way. And by the way, if you like Solomon Kane, and of course you should, if you read this, you're going to, I have done a guide to Solomon Kane comics, going through everything that I know of that's been published with the character and how you can get a hold of it and read it yourself. And I've still got a review of the Solomon Kane movie that'll be coming. Hopefully I can get that done in the next month. You know, I've got a lot of other videos coming, but I do look forward to rewatching that movie and letting you guys know what I think. All right, like and subscribe for more videos, and until next time, see ya.